Hello everyone. Let us now understand how can we solve this problem. Delete columns to make sorted part 2. You are given an array of n strings, strs strings, all of the same length. Okay. We may choose any deletion indices and we delete all the characters in those indices for each strings. Each string. I think you understand till here, right? I'll explain in clearly what the description says with an example. For example, if we have strings A, B, C, D, E, F, U, V, W, X, Y, Z and deletion indices are 0 to 3. Then the final array after deletions 0. At 0 we are removing A and U. 2 and 3, right? 0, 1, 2. C will be deleted and then W will be deleted and then D will also be deleted here, right? And then X will be deleted here. So we are left with BEF in string 0 and VYZ in string 1. Suppose we choose a set of deletion indices answer such that after deletions the final array has its element in lexicographical order. That means strings of 0 is less than or equal to strings of 1, less than or equal to strings of 2, and strings of n minus 1. Return the minimum possible value of answer dot length. Let me tell you what does this mean. Answer dot length means, possible value of answer dot length. Here, after deletions, the first column is this. Nothing but we need to just return how many columns are we deleting. If you see here, n is equal to strings dot length. One is less than or equal to less n less than or equal to 100, and it's quite low. But let us understand what they mean. By deleting column 1, we'll just delete all this, and the strings which we get is ax, ay, az, ba. Let me tell you this clearly. Just from the previous problem, yesterday's problem, we just did something like if z is not lesser than a, I'll just delete it. That's it. But in lexicographical order, it doesn't go like that. I'll tell you why. So a and then a, okay. A and then a, okay. A and then b, okay, right? A is less than A or equal to A. A is less than or equal to A. Just comparing these three comparisons. A is less than or equal to B. Yeah, good. I don't need to delete it. Now, this one is fixed. I'll tell you why. This is fixed before this. I'll tell you why. Now, B and then B. B is less than or equal to B. Yes. B is less than or equal to C. Yes. And C is less than or equal to C. I'm just saying that this is fixed. This row is fixed. This row is fixed. And then this row is also fixed. I'll tell you why in few minutes. Right? Why these are fixed? These rows are fixed. I'll tell you why. Now, when this row is fixed, I'll not compare that with the next row. I'll tell you why clearly in just few minutes. Now let us go x and then y. X is less than or equal to y. Okay. I said that I'll not compare it, but let us assume that I am comparing. X is less than or equal to y. Y is less than or equal to z. Yes, true. This one is also true. Z is less than or equal to a. This is not true, right? But wait a second. Will we delete it? Will we delete this column? No. Why? Because ABX is less than or equal to ABY is less than or equal to ACZ is less than or equal to BCA. These are in lexicographical order already. I'll tell you why. Because because you see ACZ is lesser than BCA. A is lesser than B. C is lesser or equal to C. Z is not lesser than or equal to A. But this is in lexicographical order. If you doubt it, just check it by taking ACZ into into a array of strings, BCA into array of strings. The first character will be checked always. The first character from left to right will be checked always. That's why we fix and we don't compare those rows which are already fixed. So we just mark the rows, mark the rows which are having having columns in lexicographical order. I'll tell you why. A is less than or equal to A, right? So I just fix it. I just fix the row 0. A is less than or equal to A. I just fix this row 1. A is less than or equal to B. I'll just fix this row 2. I'll tell you how. I'll just take n is equal to number of rows, nothing but strings dot size. M is equal to number of columns, nothing but strings of 0 dot size. Now, I'm saying that fix it, fix the row 0, fix the row 1, fix the row 2. Am I fixing this one? No. So for this to fix, I just take something like a Boolean array, right? So vector of bool sorted. I'm just naming it as sorted n minus 1, comma false. Now, these are the only things I will initialize with number of deletions is equal to 0. For, I go with every, wait a second. I go with every row. I will go with every column. I'll tell you how. For column is equal to 0, column is less than, how many columns do I have? M. Column plus plus. Okay, I'm going column by column, one after the other. Okay, I think you understand it here. Now, every column I'll check all those elements row by row. So for that, if there is a chance that I have to delete, if there is a chance, first I'll just initialize need delete is equal to false. Bool need delete is equal to false. Okay. Now I'll go row by row. Row is equal to 0. Row is less than n minus 1. Row plus plus. Right? So I'm checking every row. What do I check actually? I said the one which is already fixed. The row which is already fixed. I don't interfere with that. That is already marked. I don't interfere with that. So the first condition, if sorted of row is false, then only I'll interfere with it. And how do I compare it? Strings of row, right? Strings of row, the current row and the current column is nothing but this one. The current row is 0 and current column is also 0. Will be compared with this one. Row plus 1, the same column. If it is lesser than or equal to strings of row plus 1 column, then what I need to do? Then what I have to do? I'll just mark it as, it is sorted. But I don't need to do that. I'll do it afterwards. First, I will delete the columns which are not in lexicographical order. I'll tell you how. Let us just take B, BA and AB just like this. BA and AB. These are the two strings. First, nothing is marked. B is greater than A. So what I'll do? See here, B is greater than A. What I'll do? Need delete will be marked as true and then I'll break here itself. If the if the first thing is if something like these columns are given like this, if the first one is itself not in lexicographical order, why do I care about the other things? So break there itself. After that, if need deletion is true, if need deletion is true, then what I'll do, I'll just increment the number of deletions and then continue. I just don't need to check the rows. I'll not fix that row. Why? Because if you see, it is not sorted. Why? Because if I got B which is greater than A, that means all these rows won't be mattered. I'll tell you again. This itself isn't sorted, right? I'll write some code here. For row is equal to 0, row is lesser than how many rows I have? N. Row plus n minus 1. So what I'll do, I'll just compare. If it is not sorted of row, and this strings of row and column, right, is less than or equal to. If it is lesser than or equal to, instead of this, I'll write it as lesser than or equal to. I'll just mark it as sorted of row. I'll mark it as true. Now, you might confuse here why we are just breaking it. We are just going to the loop again when why we are writing continue statement here. I'll tell you why. Now, if you see, I got B which is greater than A, right? Now, should I go through this all the rows? No need. I am deleting the column itself. Why do I go with every row? That's why I'll just continue there itself. Now this for loop will be ending here. Don't worry, I have given the code link in the description. Go and check it. At last, we'll just return the number of deletions. That's how you solve this problem. That's as simple as that. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. Please to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.